Okay, guys, we'll do one more. Good morning. You guys can book with me at Oasis on 29th and Southeast Boulevard up at the South Hill. I'm taking all services again, including straight raise shaves. I didn't know that I knew they did neck shaves, but I did not know they actually did any shaves. So if that's something you're interested in, I am certified in straight shaves, and I will take care of that too. That's cool. Oh, I hit my head twice one day. In one day? Are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy. Can't believe it. First card out is Two of Swords in the reverse. That's great. Some of you guys are overcoming pain from things that have hurt you in the past, and you're finally seeing sunny days again. You're seeing the days as sunny again, and we all know how that feels in our hearts when we have very heavy pain and love for somebody, and that's what you're getting over. You're not getting over that person, but your feelings and, you know, the sadness that you experienced from the breakup it's getting a little bit smaller and smaller. Some of you guys need a little more money, I see. Some of you guys have been needing a little bit more money, but I see that with the picture here, it looks like maybe the reason why you were kind of down on money in the first place could have been because, honestly, the depression that you were experiencing from the breakup could have had you spending it a little bit here and there to cope on things that you wouldn't even normally purchase. And also, you're somebody, I feel like, who's big on love. And I also see the Star card here. That it's from the last read, but it's in the reverse, but if I see it and my eyes land on it, I do like to point it out. And I just, exactly, Emperor 2 in the reverse, okay? There's low self-esteem. There's low self-esteem coming in today, and some of you guys are just feeling a little bit bummed out. This person meant a lot to you, and it's completely normal to be sad. So don't feel hard on yourself, okay? Don't turn being sad about somebody into being less than, okay? Because some of you guys are starting to actually drop in self-esteem over this breakup, and that's not healthy for you. You need to understand that every person that we've ever met, there's a reason for it, you guys. So whenever you're around anybody, even me, you, it doesn't matter who it is, like, you're either there because there's something that you need to be taught, or you need to teach another person, and both people will teach each other. But let's just say in an event, we're going to use Helga and Hey Arnold as an example. Everybody should know that. But basically, Helga, she always be bullying people, and she's got her little ways that she acts, and it's actually kind of it's not okay. And for the whole movie, you know, we see her doing it. And what your job would be if you were Arnold would be to actually respectfully say, hey, don't do that to me anymore. And some people are not actually saying anything to the people that they're feeling these depressing feelings about. And they're actually allowing this abusive person to take away their self-esteem. So you're not doing your job, and it's going to actually repeat again until you do. Whether it's with this person or another person, you are expected always to do the right thing. You can say, I'm just staying out of it, I don't care, I just ignore them, you know, that's what they always do. You can say whatever you want, but like, your duty, since you're there and you're noticing it, is to actually let them know that that's not what they're going to do. And I'll tell you what, most of the time immediate action or change doesn't take place. Even with myself, you know, when people, like, anger management is something that came up for me over the last several years, bro. Like, since Martin died, I have actually become really angry. And I'll tell you how I knew. It wasn't because I thought that I was. Multiple people in my family, my daughter, my dad, I would be talking to them, and they had this fear literally in their fucking eyes, dude. A total fear, like actually fear. I saw it multiple times from multiple different people. Even when I would yell, people would start to almost flinch and just like, I don't know, I could see that it was beyond anything that I had ever felt before. And that's what happens to people like us. And you guys are, I have a lot of masculines on here, and I'm very masculine when it comes to how I handle shit. And typically we'll just go and throw ourselves into a new work project, and we don't typically cry a lot, and we ignore things till the point of fucking exploding. So that's something that could have been happening to you, and you could have actually had I just heard like outbursts. You could have flipped out finally. And don't be hard on yourself about that either, because I'll tell you, a guy will sit there and fucking ask a woman many times, dude, and we just don't stop. We do not stop. We think until a woman realizes that a man speaks, a man is not going to flip the fuck out for a long time. Normally, a real, like somebody who has complete self-respect will just straight fucking, usually with respect, cut ties. He'll say, I'm just can't do this anymore, and they will leave the scene. But somebody who cares, you have love for this person, and you're a real man. You're gonna ask them, please, can you just stop, trying to argue with me? Can you please stop yelling at me? Like, I really don't want to yell back, like I've had men, Edward did it. He asked me for like a fucking year, probably almost. Don't scream, can we not do this? Things like that. And like in my mind, I was just like upset. I felt like we weren't talking about it. Long story short, almost a year into him being here, after begging me not to fucking talk to him when he asked me not to do it, I'll tell you what, he's finally stood up and he told me over and over, dude. I'll never forget this. It was a huge learning moment for me. But finally, he couldn't take it anymore. And he fucking stood up and he punched my fucking mirror out. And I know in my heart that that man literally went to treatment. He was doing his DOC. He was fucking trying to do outpatient. He was missing his family. He moved here away from home, and he was trying his best to be sober, and he did. He maintained his sobriety for a while, and that whole time, every fucking morning before work, you know what he did? He'd wake up every fucking morning, and he turned on Hillsong, and he would listen to church music, and he started his day off with a breakfast, and he just had this whole fucking routine that honestly was perfect for recovery. And for a year, he worked very hard, and we were fighting. We were fighting because there was like, I didn't know what it was going on, but he was cheating, and I was fighting with him because like he wasn't talking to me about nothing, and he wasn't including me in anything, and he was pretty much living in my house while I paid for everything, and I just felt like I didn't know who the fuck I was even dating at the time. But regardless of what I wanted to know or find out, I needed to hear what he was actually saying, and at that time he was saying he did not want to talk. He didn't want to talk, and like I was like just kept pushing over and over, like, hey, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? Like, I still don't really know. Maybe he just felt like he couldn't talk, and he's a Scorpio, and my daughter's Scorpio, and cancers can be really overwhelming. We could sit there and demand that you talk, and you know what, for all I know, he probably already told me, more than likely. I wouldn't doubt it. And whether or not you know why people are not talking to you or making the change, or you didn't hear shit they've already said and they're getting fucking tired of fucking repeating, something's wrong there at that time. And when we can't actually make progress in a relationship, you have to actually make a decision to be mature enough to fucking step away with respect and go learn whatever it is that you haven't yet. A lot of times you're gonna learn skills about things from your last chapter literally in a couple chapters ahead. If you really wanted to know how to make things better or why things didn't work out, then you're gonna be just somebody who's gonna pick up on common things. And abuse does travel. Everything that you experience with the previous person, more than likely you will apply in your next relationship or a couple after. You might have been somebody who was abused, but now if you notice it, you will have behaviors more than likely of your abuser. And we've all should have probably noticed that by now. Many of us say things like, oh, I hate them, or I'm never going to be like them, or blah, 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 blah. But then one day you just realize that you're acting very similar to they act. And, you might hear yourself say something. One day dude, this is one of my worst fucking realizations. Like, right after mine and Zeke's breakup, I was very fucking sad and shit. And I had this new guy in my house, And he was just, he was one who would ignore me, and then he would sit there and smirk and smile. And I fucking walked over there and I flicked my cigarette ashes on him. I've never done that in my fucking life since or before. But I'll tell you who did that to me. Zeke. And in that moment, I sat there and I realized, holy fucking shit, dude. I just did that? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? And that's what I mean by it's gonna travel. And that's where you really got to ask yourself, like, when you're in a situation like that, are you okay with at any point in your life actually being in a situation to repeat that behavior to somebody else? Because you will, if you don't stand up against it, you're going to become it. And I hope that I can just use some of those examples to show you that I never thought that I would. I'm glad that I literally haven't done that since, because those are the things that you're going to have to, like, be honest with yourself at least about. You don't have to tell other people, but, like, just think about it. Another thing that stood out to me was when I would be in a whole new relationship, if the dude said the same thing that one of my other previous men had said, and they didn't know each other, you can be mad all you want. But if any of your girlfriends have ever said the same shit, or boyfriends too, they're not tripping. So you don't, again, have to tell anybody. I know that a lot of you are just like kind of having these realizations right now, and that's totally fine. It's not about making anybody feel bad, guys. It's about us realizing how to do better so that we don't have to lose the same things and not know why it's walking out of our life. People that are in, that need help with their anger and their rage, and they have dysfunctional families and shit like that, like, unless they actually understand that everybody is an individual and they're going to act the way that they're going to act, and that they have a choice to either continue to stay involved in it or they have a choice to literally walk away. And it's never easy to walk away from anybody, guys. But people are not respecting each other, then there's really nothing more you can do except for just live your life like that, and that's not healthy for anybody. We have, Eight of Cups in the reverse, dude. I know. Okay, so this is so sad. I could feel your guys' pain actually as I speak about this, and it does. It makes me really sad for y'all. I've been there. Thank God I'm not fucking there today. But yeah, there's some breakups going on right now, guys. But just to save you guys a little time, if you're somebody who started your breakup in any way whatsoever unhealed from a past relationship, so let's just say you're still grieving your ex, you're gonna you will manifest what you are. So this person that you manifest doesn't have to always just be thinking about their ex as well, but they could be they're thinking about something, just, okay, whatever strength of feeling that you have about something, they'll have that same strength. It does not have to be the same topic. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say you are missing your ex, but you're with somebody who's supposed to be in recovery, and they might be missing their fucking drug dealer. So it's the same level. So even if it's different subject, you're going to be able to know in your heart, like, I feel this strong, and do a scale from 1 to 10, and just ask yourself, like, on a scale from 1 to 10, how strong is this missing feeling that I'm experiencing? If you are consumed by it all damn day long, then that's how strong they're going to be. And they, at any given minute, both of you guys are going to fucking go on a detour. And that's just something you can be mindful of. And whenever you start to go down that memory lane and you fucking find yourself drifting away and you're thinking about actually doing something that's kind of sneaky out here, maybe you're going to go meet up with somebody, or you're thinking about making that final move, you're finally going to go do it, screw it, you can't hold back anymore, just know that that's activating the next move for them to do the same thing to you. So just keep that in mind. You will manifest exactly what you are and what you put out. And even if it's not in this relationship, you guys might find that it happens in your next one. And that's the thing about karma, you guys, is that karma waits for your dreams to actually come true. So let's say you're not even very interested in this person, and that's why you're leaving, but you didn't say that this whole time. You haven't mentioned that this whole time. You've been sitting there leading somebody on, making them feel special. So what karma will do for you is they're going to let you continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to leave, and you're just going to be like, well, you know, it is what it is, bitch. You know, well, guess what? What's going to happen more than likely to you in the future is that you're going to come across somebody who's going to do the exact same thing. This could be a job. This could be another lover. But yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, you're fucking awesome. I love you, da-da-da-da. And then boom, dizzle. You know, you're going to see him post a picture literally with another man online. Things like that, because that's what you did to somebody in the past. So it does not matter what it is that we do. You will receive what you put out, period. And that's in thoughts, that's in words, and that's in actions. So it can be a lot for some of you. I mean, just be mindful how long you sit there and think like, oh, I hate that bitch, I can't stand her, blah, blah, blah. Those are not good thoughts, and that's not good energy. You're allowed to be upset about anything that anybody does to you, but the amount of time that you spend being angry is how much time you will fucking have to receive in karma back. So be mindful. Plus, even if somebody does you wrong, and you're like, that bitch did me wrong, if you don't handle it maturely and appropriately, then you don't get any points for being a true fucking success. As far as like walking away and leaving them, you don't get points for that, because if you disrespect somebody on the way out and you don't handle it in a godly way, you're actually lowering you're lowering your vibration. You just need to simply be firm, and you need to tell these people they cannot talk to you or treat you like that, and that you're actually leaving. They need to understand what it is they did, what they cannot do to you anymore. You're not really supposed to like speak up and tell this person like what they are. You just need to let them know in those moments, know what they're doing. And you need to stick up for your feelings. Everybody feels different. Some people don't mind things that other people mind a lot. So it's just about feeling your feelings out, knowing when you feel like somebody disrespects you, it is your duty to actually stop it. If you don't, then you'll just keep getting more and more people like that. Because it's something that you're actually in fear of. And your thoughts are causing you to actually think about it all the time. And since you manifest what you think, then you're basically, if somebody right now is living in a state of fear that things that are negative might happen again, even if you're like, oh my gosh, like there was a car accident and now I live every day of my life in fear that somebody's getting a car accident, like you could ultimately be manifesting car accidents. You know, you guys have to like really be mindful of your thoughts and how long you spend. There's a saying that we're only supposed to spend 5 minutes a day venting if you need to, and we're also supposed to pick the same persons and not go to tell everybody else. And the reason is because the majority of the things that we complain about, you guys, we're not willing to actually make a change for in that moment. So all that you're doing when you complain is basically you're just like collecting all this attention against you and your person, and more than likely you're not going to leave them. And then you have to explain why you didn't leave them. And then pretty soon the next thing is going to be people kind of judging you for being a little boy that cried wolf and not doing anything about it. And then you're going to notice that they do that. And then you just look like a fucking emotional shit show. We've all been there. We've all been there. So don't give your power away to anybody that you feel disrespected by. And you need to know that just like you've done, I'm sure, in at least one or a few cases, you have left the scene when people have disrespected you. You're not going to just sit around and fucking come back over and over. If you went to a restaurant that served you shitty food and threw the water in your face when you told them it sucked, you would not return. But people pick and choose when it comes to relationships for some reason. We know that we have this idea in our mind about what we want. And it's like sometimes we go to this, if you were thinking of love as a shoe store, it's like you going in for a pair of Jordans and you're coming out with a pair of fucking used Walmart shoes half the time. And they're not the right size, it's not the right color, you weren't looking for it, and like, I don't know why people have this idea in their mind about what they want for love. And then they come out with a couple, that chick didn't look anything like the one you had in mind. You know, that dude. You know, people are saying, oh, I would never date a guy that's abusive. I would never date a guy that doesn't work. You know, we're taught from the get-go to date people that have their shit together, too. We're taught not to fucking do the things that we do. And you guys are going against the basic rules of life just like I am. And I've done that too. Luckily for me, my kids kicked my ass and fucking, I haven't had anybody live here, thank God, for 4 years. But I never in my life thought I would get to this point. So if you got any family members or anybody in your life that's hounding you in a specific way and saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, they're probably right. So just listen to your family and listen to your children. I'm so grateful that, you know, mine are, you know, they're very serious with me. And they express things to me that really matter. You need to ask your family how do they feel when you're around this person. They might feel like this person is just really negative for you also. My kids are really good about being a boyfriend radar for me. Halo doesn't just like let me date, and she'll let me date, but like she is very good about she can just pick up, dude, on people's piece of shitness, you know, in a different way than I can. And every fucking time she said she didn't care for somebody with respect, she says it was respect. She's not a disrespectful person. But she'll respectfully just say, I don't really know, he looks kind of weird, you know, or whatever. And every fucking time, dude, she's exactly correct. So you do have somebody in your life that at least you love very much. You may not think that their opinion should be like the deal breaker opinion. But basically, shit, I gotta go. But basically, you need to ask the person in your life that you trust, whether this is your niece or nephew, this could be a child. But you might ask him, you know, like ask him from a youthful point of view. Hey, how's it going? You know, what do you been? Ask him what they think about you. You don't have to go into detail because it's a child, so you don't want to like make your child fucking, oh shit, I'm freaking out. I gotta go. Hey, I'm sorry. This is my first day work. But ask a youth what they think. Like, bye. Yeah. What time do you have to